because it was yeah, I
You
did
should have
not
known.
know.
You
Yeah,
should have known the audience.
it was one of those like I'm
All
gonna
right,
just
there you go.
grab.
Perfect. Whatever it is.
Yeah,
I kind of did the same
yeah,
thing. I didn't
yeah,
realize it was A&M
yeah,
until I was like, oh, I guess I'm wearing this.
yeah. So
Um, so yeah, like I said, I'm obviously the TA, and
mhm,
so I'm trying to make it so that I'm trying to give the resources best to the people in that classroom.
mhm.
Because what I've noticed a lot is that a lot of people are very afraid of public speaking and are
Mhm,
very afraid of taking the class. And it's not like the material is hard. It's
mhm.
not like the class is hard. Like it's not like organic chemistry. It's
Yeah,
not biochemistry, any of
yeah,
that. It's hard because of the anxiety that comes with actually giving
absolutely.
a speech.
People watching you, taking apart what it is you say, how you say it.
Yeah.
Especially we live in a world that's like, bro, let's be real, like social media, if you can't sell it in what, 3 seconds,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna just keep scrolling.
Exactly.
So I get it, man. And these are all things that I've learned through the years, even what it is I just said.
Yeah.
In fact, I had a friend of mine, close friend of mine, he goes, yo, do you know that you talk in YouTube? And I was like, no, what do you mean? He goes, no, it's dope. Because what happens is you'll tell stories like 3 to 5 minutes, and then you'll switch and you'll tie it together. And I was like, oh, snap. I think that comes because I have ADD and I like YouTube and so forth myself, man. So yeah, I can understand the anxiety. For me, I think there was an anxiety as a kid, but I used to get in trouble for, and this is going to be hilarious. Check this out. That I used to get in trouble for speaking in
Okay.
class,
Yeah.
talking and making people laugh. And now what do I get to
Sounds like
travel?
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like me.
Yeah, I get to travel the nation like literally doing that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I'm a big advocate. I'm a fake dude. So I'm a big advocate that, it's some of the gifts that,
Yeah.
our creator has given us.
A
You know what I'm
hundred
saying?
percent. 100%.
So yeah.
So yeah, so our first question was basically, obviously, I want to talk more about like the methodology. So like
Mhm.
when you're coming up with a speech or a
Mhm.
topic, brainstorming that, what does that look like towards you? That formatting of that.
So I use an outline in my head,
Okay.
right? So and this you could do this in teaching, you can do this with anything,
Yeah.
kids, whatever it is. So it'll be the point, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
and an example of the point.
Okay.
And then it needs a transition to the next point.
Hmm.
So let me give you an example. So let's just say, let's take this cup, right?
Okay.
So the point of this would be, let's do this, Bucky's, right? So the whole point is that I want to show that Bucky's is the best,
Yeah.
right? So what I'm gonna do is I am going to tell a story.
Okay.
You feel me? And I'm so one of the other things that I've learned in speaking is you be who you are. I grew up in a home, in a New Yorican home where everybody's laughing all the time, telling stories, loud, so forth. And so I'm gonna tell a funny story loud, and I'm gonna make the point, the story tie into the point.
Yeah.
One might be walking with my youngest son. I'll draw it out, and then like at the very end, like he might have stole something, you know. And the point is, Bucky's, and this is literally off the top of my head. Bucky's has everything, but as an adult, it's up to me to know what we need, so I help my son pick
Okay.
and how life will present itself in like what's right in front of you,
Yeah.
right? So which is why he stole it, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or it might be you need to ask because this store has everything. You
Hmm.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And life will present itself. Well, it has everything. And at times we need different tools. We need to ask. So forth. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like using the story as like kind of like I would say like a metaphor and so forth. And that's yeah. And I would just use that. So then that would be that point, then the transition to the next point. If the next point is not only Bucky's is the best, the cups there are the best,
Yeah.
right? So I would say something like if the point of the story was, hey, we have all these things in life and we get to choose, but sometimes we have to ask because we just can't have. One of the things that we need to ask for because we have different tools and stuff in life is things specific to the tool, to the thing that we need, which would be a cup.
Yeah.
And then I'll move into the notice I even paused.
Yeah.
and then what you call it, you know what I'm saying? Going to the next point.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, did that make sense?
No, yeah,
So
yeah.
there's always like, so for me, this the what you call it was the question was,
Like the format and the brainstorming
yeah,
behind
so
that.
the formatting is always I'm gonna let the points, like if it's an outline, I'm gonna let the points, I'm gonna hit those points because
Yeah.
I go when I go places to speak, they give me what they want me to speak
Okay.
about. So I literally will have it up there. It'll say point where Johnny is a redhead,
Okay.
like, and then I'll draw on a story,
Hmm.
and then I'll come back. Remember, because Johnny is a redhead, transition to the next point.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'll have those things come out. Now, it really depends on, the knowing your audience,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
knowing the culture of your audience, right? Like
And it's something that we talk about in that
100%,
audience analysis is like you need to
100%.
know who you're
Yeah.
talking to.
So the talk or presentation begins before the talk or presentation, and people don't even understand that,
Okay.
right? There's like a whole psychology of presentation, right? Like, so let me give you an example. So what I do is, I fly somebody somewhere and speak, and I already have the content, the main points, somewhat stories, but I need something culturally to tie into where I'm at, right?
Hmm.
So let me give you an example. So let's just say I'm going to A&M.
Okay.
I already know you can't step on the grass. I'm gonna
Yeah.
use that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And here's the funny thing. Let's just say I didn't know anybody from A&M. What I would do is somebody always picks us up from the airport. I would just ask questions.
Hmm.
And I'm like, hey, tell me
What
what
the
it's like.
environment is
Yeah.
like here, what the
Like
culture is like.
usually the person that picks you up is from that place.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, tell me about yourself. Okay, how do you like it here? Like, what is it like going to school here? What stands out to you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the whole time they're talking, I'll even like, what type of music y'all listen to, blah, 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 blah. I'm gathering information the whole time. I'm
Hmm.
taking mental notes, and I'm like, okay, bro, I can use this right here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel me?
No,
You see what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like stuff like I just what is anim? It's the gig'em, right?
Yeah.
It's the thumb,
No,
right?
it's the
Yeah,
thumb
yeah,
up,
it's the
yeah.
thumb up. My bad. My bad. Don't shoot me. But that's a good example. Like I didn't know the culture. Um, I messed up and I made a joke out of it.
Yeah. You keep going with it,
You
yeah.
feel me? And but that's a part of the communication. What it is that I'm getting at is one, knowing the culture.
Hmm.
The other aspect of it is the presentation itself is you. Communication is 80%. I want to say last time I looked at it, it was 80%
Yeah.
nonverbal. So
And that's something that I'm hitting that when I give my little lecture
100%. And
because
you do a social experiment. Check this out. I've done this countless times through the years.
yeah.
I'm a sneakerhead. I tend to talk to teens mainly or young adults. And what I'll do is let's just say I'm about to give a keynote at a
Hmm.
conference or even at a retreat or
Okay.
something. I will make sure I'm there visible before I go up.
100%.
So what'll happen is I'm just chilling in the background, and if like let's just say it's a retreat, I'm like, hey, what's up? Dab somebody up, blah, 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 blah. The whole time I'm watching how they walk, talk, so forth. But what'll happen is every time, man, kids, girls, whatever, they're like, hey, sir, I like your fit. Okay, bam. Now I know I already connected. Now they're going to be way more attentive
Hmm.
to whenever I'm ready to talk.
Yeah.
Now, let's just say it's a group of like 1,000, 2,000. I don't have that
No.
luxury,
Hmm.
right? So what I'll do is I'll stand on the side. Even before they start like letting me know, I'll come out from behind the curtains and everything, and I'll just stand there. And you could see kids, young adults, they'll just be like, "Yo, look, you know what I'm
You kind
saying?
of trippy with
Yeah, yeah, you
yeah,
see what I'm
you
saying? So like my initial thing is no different than if you're walking into my house or you're walking into the church or whatever. I walk up and be like, "Hey, what's good, everybody?" Nah, I ain't hear you. What's good? I already my language is already connected. Now you have this tattoo dude,
mhm.
usually wearing a fitted, you know what I'm saying? Like, fear of God, something. I haven't even said anything.
Yeah.
You feel me? So now there's walls already starting to drop.
So yeah,
You feel me?
I was
Does that
gonna
make
say that,
sense?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah,
And with that, I was gonna say, like we were saying, in the first couple seconds is when you make an impression on your
100%.
audience.
Yeah.
How do you create a lasting impression in those first few seconds? How do you captivate that audience? Because like I know I've researched it, and it's like the first 30 seconds max, you
100%.
have their 100% attention, and then
So
after that,
so
it
it
drops.
depends, man. You gotta really know your audience.
Hmm.
A lot of places I go, again, most of the teens and so forth, they're not bought in. So that's a different starting point than if like this weekend I'm going to speak at a diocese.
That are already going to be wanting to listen
Yet
to you.
they're all youth ministers, they're all like professionals in that
Yeah,
field. I don't necessarily have to start at the same place at all.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Or if I'm at a camp where all the kids want to be there,
Hmm.
I don't have to like kind of
Yeah, get
start
them
off.
in. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's different. And each one is intentional, right? And a lot of it is intuition, but intuition that you've learned through the years what works and what doesn't work. I learned this when I used to work, honestly, it's the Marine Corps, but then when I started putting words to it when I started working at Harris County, working
okay.
in juvenile facilities. And then when I went to the classroom, it's this principle of if I start off strong, it's easier to pull back. And so what happens is if I start off weak, then it's going to be hard to get their
To
attention.
gain
You see
momentum
what I'm
after.
saying?
Okay.
So command presence, that's what we say in the Marine Corps and in like business, they say that you have the command presence,
Hmm.
stage presence,
That's what
so
I.
forth.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
So a lot of it is like, hey, I'm gonna have my laptop, and this is an example. No matter what I do is I'll walk to different places, use my hands, and even look directly at the person and slow down what I'm saying, just so that I can make sure. And what happens is all these things are kind of like a rhythm.
Yeah.
And what,
Dynamics.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a dynamic to where you have to feel comfortable with all of it being yourself. And walking into the space is like, okay, what tool do I have that I can connect with this audience in the first 30
Hmm.
seconds? Sometimes it's not, sometimes it may be a picture, it may be a meme.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to Southeast Houston, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You know I like to joke.
Yeah.
So I'll pull up. I'm not even playing, bro. I've done this before. I'll just have the meme up before I even walk out, whatever, and it'll just be like the
The
dude.
color.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then I'll just walk out and I'd be like, my first thing is like, look around, look familiar. And they think I'm being serious. And I'm like, yeah, that's most of y'all in this room. And like, bro, everybody's just like, yo, you know. And I'm like, all kidding aside, blah, 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 my name, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, that definitely isn't gonna work if I'm upstate New York.
Oh, 100%.
You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's just being comfortable with the tools that you have, um, and being able to draw in those. And here's the other part is, most people when they see me, they're like, oh yeah, who do you? Yes, that's an aspect of me, but
Hmm.
let's not forget all the education, all the experience. I am Dr. Alex Gold, and I can put that hat on. That's not my favorite hat. I'll
Yeah.
be honest
Yeah.
with you. It's one of the reasons why I like speaking with teens and young adults so much. But again, just okay, I need to start off with the joke or how's everybody doing today? Or I was driving in and the weather is hot or something
Hmm.
along those lines. I automatically want to connect with the audience, and that's just going to look differently everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Even in the classroom, right? You're going to be here's an example. You're going to be in an auditorium style
Hmm.
classroom. All right. Everybody's going to be looking at you. It's probably going to be dark, so you're not going to be able to tell like who's
Who's in front
there.
of
Yeah,
you,
like
all that
who's
stuff. Yeah.
what you call it. So what you want to do is make sure you're moving around. Even that first part was like, hey, my name, hey, did y'all
Hmm.
catch that? You see, and I'm walking around and I'm just making people feel in I want to say it's the computer, something along those lines. They call it breaking the fourth wall.
Okay.
You want to make sure that you're breaking the fourth wall and it comes across in many different things.
Yeah.
Did I answer the
No,
question?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I was gonna lead into that. So another thing is like the introduction. Like we said, it's to me the most important thing of
Couldn't agree
your
with you anymore.
speech,
Yeah, yeah,
of your whatever it is,
yeah.
because it's your starting point. It's if it fails, the rest of the speech you have no one's
100%.
attention. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you said, it's harder to gain momentum after. It's harder to if you start off weak.
Mhm.
How do you format the best introduction?
So what I've realized is laughter.
Okay.
And but that's my personality,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Well, in our
yeah,
classroom,
yeah.
every day we start off with a joke. We
That's
start
good.
off,
Yeah.
it's not, and it's a big thing, it's a big culture in our classroom that we don't want to make it seem like you're here to like in a lecture. We don't
100%.
want you to
Good.
be dreading to come here. We'll start off with a joke. It's more of a conversation that we have between us and the students because that's how I
I
feel like it's the best way to learn. Learning is felt,
100%.
not taught, if that's the best way to
Yeah, no,
describe
in
it.
fact, there's when I was going through my teaching certification years ago, they were talking about they will not students will not remember what they're taught, they remember how you make them feel.
Yes, yes.
And so laughter to me is the best. They may be come from a video, that may come from asking a bunch of questions and just freestyling from there,
Yeah.
or that may come from a story. Like if I'm gonna go to a conference, I'm
Mhm.
gonna have two or three opening stories that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make the best of it. And what you do is you hear different stories. So this is some maybe some homework that you guys can do
Okay.
is you said this that you guys open up with jokes.
Yeah.
If I were you guys, I would be writing those jokes down. I would be like recording them. And what you do is you sit with the jokes and you're like, okay, how much of this is me?
Hmm.
And how much can I be creative in this? You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And this is what I mean is like, let's just say the joke is putting on a hat. All
Okay.
right. I'm gonna tell stories of when my I was wearing a wig. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just have and the difference between especially growing up in New York culture where baseball hats is much different than fedoras and
Hmm.
kind of go down the list. But you see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take the essence of the joke
Yeah.
and make it me.
Okay.
You see what I'm
And
saying?
that's a big thing that I want to
100%.
like. It's one thing that I'm going to talk to them about is that we're not here to make you the most extroverted, most
Nah,
outspoken.
by
That's
far.
not.
Make
We're here to
you.
make you
Yeah,
you and be the best
absolutely.
speaker that you can be with you. So like, let's say someone's very monotone. We don't
Right.
need you to be this extravagant
Absolutely
all over
not.
the place. No,
Absolutely not.
but with what you have, let's make you the best you with those tools of you having
100%.
that.
So I would say, even if you're an introvert, you need a good story.
Yeah.
You need to be a good storyteller
Hmm.
if you're going to capture an audience. Um, I wish more people understood that.
Yeah.
There's books out there that talk about the art of rhetoric, and they'll talk about the importance of telling stories,
Hmm.
especially to the generation before you guys, and especially, these knuckleheads. They need stories
Yeah.
to capture them and so forth. So I've heard this before where people are like, that's not me. Well, this is part of getting outside of your comfort zone.
Hmm.
Look up stories, make sure that they tie into the point, and it just captivates people. Why do you think movies are so important? Why do you think books? Why do you go down the list? Like, we love stories, so let's use that.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
And leading into that with more of now you're giving the speech, that stage presence we were talking about, to me, at least to the professor as well, that's my biggest strength in what I have is when I public speak, is that stage presence, that he was like that aura that you have that when you give a
Yeah,
speech.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's dope. That's dope.
and
Yeah, yeah.
when we gave like when they gave their first speeches,
Hmm.
we both felt that it was one thing that they lacked.
Hmm.
That so in the way the classroom was set up, we had like a little desk area, like a little podium essentially,
Hmm.
and every single one of the students stood behind it.
Of course,
Every single
that's
one
what
of
they're
them. And
taught.
and I get it because like it acts like a barrier between them and the audience and they want
Yeah,
to feel more safe. But we're trying to obviously break that mold. We're trying to make sure that, you're commanding the space.
hundred
What was it
percent.
in the Navy that they called it? Commanding
Oh, command presence
command
in the
presence
Marine
in the
Corps.
Marine Corps.
Yeah,
My
big
fault, not Navy.
difference.
My fault.
Big
My
difference.
fault in the
Yeah.
Marine.
Yeah.
So my question is, how do you feel stage presence affects the speech, and how can you build on that?
Yeah, so again, uh most communication, I want to say 80% of it is nonverbal,
Yeah.
right? So, and part of that is stage presence. But that means different things for different people,
Hmm.
right? Like I remember whenever I was getting into speaking and starting to take it be professional about it, I went to Toastmasters,
Okay.
which I would encourage all you guys to go to at least one or two of them, because you see the difference in presence, right? Like me, I am an extrovert, so it's easy for me. I'm a product of hip hop culture. So I would have said years ago, that's how you MC a crowd. That's how you move the crowd. It's
Yeah.
like you're making hand movements and then you're going, ah, you know,
Yeah.
to where everybody's like, ah. But what this will take is some homework and different types of homework. So a good public speaker of command presence, you guys are gonna trip when I see this, is again, not content. I want to be clear. Watch Joel Osteen.
Okay.
Watch his body language, watch when he's talking, his smiling. Actually, I watched the guy, not Vance, who was the one that about the military thing that just happened 2 weeks ago? Um,
Um,
I watch talks all the time,
uh,
different types of people. People would think I would only listen to like preachers. Nope. Mm-mm. I love Dr. Martin Luther King, R.C. Sproul. Oh my gosh, on the tip of my tongue and I cannot remember. Um, and of course that would happen. But just different people. So the guy who just heads get it, I want to say, please forgive me if I messed up his name, but he was just speaking to the military, watching his mannerisms, knowing that he's talking to grown men who are professional.
yeah.
Watch the language, the verbiage that he uses, the pronouns, the less Latin verbs, or when you're with the more educated, you do use more Latin verbs and so forth. You use a highly more quote unquote highly educated, so forth. But watch like a Joel Osteen, watch some and that's what I was trying to think. I was trying to think of some politicians. And the guy that I think it was again Hex with, watch how he moves. He just gave a talk like 2, 3 weeks ago to the military that everybody's tripping about. Kind of go down the list, but also watch. I'm a preacher, so watch like Wilkerson out of Florida, Dr. Tony Evans, totally different. Watch some of these guys who know how to move and tie things together and use one word to illustrate a story. They illustrate a story of just one simple word, right? Like that's an art,
Yeah.
right? That's hard. But that's so good. Now, how would this translate? Like if you're not going to be a public speaker, so forth.
And that
You,
was that was
yeah,
another question I
yeah.
was gonna ask
Okay,
because it's like obviously the skills I gained from public speaking, but not everyone is gonna have public speaking. Like it's not a part of their job.
right,
Like let's say like there's some jobs like I'm gonna be a veterinarian.
right.
It's gonna be a part of my job talking to clients and
100%.
stuff like that. But let's say
100%.
someone's at a cubicle all day or an engineer and stuff like that. Why? How do those skills from public speaking, I guess, what's the word?
Translate.
Translate. That's the best word. Translate
Yeah.
into their career, and how are they able to use those skills?
Well, every job is a little bit different, right? Let's take the engineer. You are going to work on a team.
Yeah.
Um, so you may be head of the team. So that means you're going to have to present.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're going to have to present to your boss sometimes. You want to make sure that your boss is driven, the audience, whoever is there, is captivated by what it is that you're saying. Are there going to be dry parts, quote unquote, dry parts? There may be, but again, it's your responsibility to make sure that this communicate what it is that you're in charge of,
Yeah.
and your team understands the mission in that, right? Like, so for me personally, I think a lot of the skills, one, I was always in sports, I was always team captain, so forth. I can see then, when I went to the Marine Corps, same, they would put me in charge, and then as you start to grow, you start to learn commands and voice flexion and
Mm-hmm.
sounding off from your diaphragm. But then that's not going to translate to teenagers,
Yeah.
So how does that work, right? So again, just being comfortable with you, but how does it translate? These principles are the same.
Yeah.
You're going to need an introduction that's going to lead to your point. Now, if you're an engineer, let's take an engineer. If you're an engineer and you're going to be presenting, your points may be 2, 3 points,
Mhm.
but you need something at the very least to close with,
100%.
and it'll just tie everything together. Um, so that with the engineer, with you, oh man, people, again, let's take what you're going to end up doing, being a veterinarian. Man, your communication comes in your face,
Hmm.
comes in your hands, and comes with your interaction of their animal.
No,
You
100%.
know, trust me, they love their
Yo, they
animals.
you have
Like,
no
so
idea.
yeah, so they're going to have like a bit of
No,
tension,
yeah,
a bit of
protectiveness.
like,
Because
yeah,
that to some people, that's
a
literally their
hundred
kids.
percent.
That is their
Hundred
children.
percent. So it's your responsibility to break that fourth wall, right? Me being Latino. So again, we're gonna take what's us
What we know.
and draw that in, right? Like we're a very touchy people, right?
Hmm.
We grew up, you have to say hello, hi, and how do you say hello, hi to your tias, titis?
Yeah.
You give a hug.
You will give exactly.
So now everybody's not gonna love hugs, especially in today's world, but you can a head nod.
And
Um,
an
yeah, an
acknowledgement.
acknowledgement, a smile, something along those lines, to where it does start to break some of that tension
Mhm.
before you even start talking. Um, and again, I'm touchy feely, to an extent, I'm stranger danger, all right. But I am going to, and I've done this with people, especially with guys, is
Yeah.
you guys are gonna see this um, is I'm like, hey, you understand what it is I'm saying?
And then
Right.
yeah, yeah.
And I've seen just this simple touch where it's like, oh yeah, it's kind
Lock,
of yeah, it
lock
like
in.
so yeah, they're all just forms of communication that depending on where you're at, you're going to use, but they're all going to be the same. You're going to need an opening,
Yeah.
you're going to need points, and you're going to need a closing, and all of it is going to come from who you are. You
Hmm.
just have to be honest with who you are. You know, as you guys start to speak, what you're going to find out is you're going to copy other people, and it happens.
But that's because it's the
Yeah,
best format to get there.
100%. And as you start to like move through, and this is why I would encourage you, especially if you're going to be presenting a lot, watch different presenters, watch how they present. Even if they stand on the podium, there's a way of connecting with different
Yeah.
people and making sure that the people feel that they're
Oh yeah,
drawn
because some
into it,
people
right?
have different like if a
100%.
president gives a speech, they don't need to be walking around.
100%.
They have all that
100%.
just at the podium.
100%.
But someone that you have no one, it's a cold open basically. You're
100%.
gonna have to walk around. You're gonna have to get that attention basically from the
Hundred
audience.
percent, man. Yeah, no. And I was trying to think there's a prime minister, Churchill. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Watch Churchill. Oh my gosh, bro. He was such a and he used like two, three words and he just commanded the
Hmm.
room. But how did he do it? What was his voice flexion? What was his conviction in his face? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These things are all a part of it, right? To yours, conviction, all the different stuff. There's gonna be times where you have to give good news,
Yeah.
and there's gonna be times where
You have to.
I want you to know that I'm really sorry that this has happened. You see what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah.
And none of it is fake, right?
No,
It's
it's
all
genuine.
you.
Yeah.
It's a genuine, like, I'm going to use every aspect of who I am to communicate this content.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Does that make
No,
sense?
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, did that answer your
No,
question?
yeah, great, great. And then the biggest last points were more about we were talking about stage presence, and I've done my own research. And the
Mhm.
biggest thing that one needs, the way that I see it is this: to have you like stage presence is the decorations that you have to a house, right? But
Mhm.
the actual format of the speech is like the wooden law, like the beams and stuff like that, the bricks and stuff. And a lot of
Mhm.
that is self-confidence. That like you
100%.
have to have that
Yeah,
self-confidence to even add that into the picture.
100%.
So, how does someone with low self-confidence be able to give a great speech? And down the line, how do you build that self-confidence to be able to do that?
Well, I mean, it's all additive. Practice makes perfect. That's actually
Yeah.
wrong. It's actually perfect practice makes perfect.
Okay.
If I'm gonna be honest. But so there's levels to the practice in given talks, right? What we say in kind of church culture is you have low hanging fruit.
Okay.
So what would that be? That would be the group of 4 or 5 people and you're going to talk about something. Now, if you really want to get into this, like start finding out ways where you don't prepare,
Yeah.
just freestyle with it. And then, moving yourself up, right? Like, to where it becomes a group of like 40, 50. Um, And then you just get more comfortable and try new things with the low hanging fruit, right? There,
Mhm.
this joke may work, this transition may work, or it doesn't work. Okay, cool. It's low hanging fruit, you know? But as you grow and go to different audiences, whatever worked here, adapt it that it works here into where you're in front of a big crowd. And the whole idea is you should be able to communicate and make the person feel seen,
Mhm.
regardless if it's 2,000, 20,000, or 200 or two.
Mhm.
It's a matter of making sure you communicate all those things. So how do you do it? You practice. um and so doing is, but also like with anything, do homework. That's what I was
Yeah.
saying earlier. Watch different people present, watch some of our politicians, watch them. I can name, and I don't want to because people are gonna be like, you what? No, I really don't even care about politics. That's gonna sound bad. I do, but don't. I like watching good communicators,
Mhm.
even if I don't agree with the
Yeah,
message.
just how they're able to
Yeah,
present
and then
that
here's the other
message.
part. Y'all think I'm tripping. I'm Catholic. You know how many Protestant pastors I still watch? I don't necessarily agree with everything that they're saying,
Yeah,
but like I'm like, bro,
the way that
the
they're
way
presenting
you
their
did
point.
that,
Yeah.
and then watch different types of people, right? Like I'll watch African American. One of my favorite speakers, I'm not playing, is an older Anglo lady, like a grandmother.
Okay.
I love, she's so good. Oh my, and people look at me, they be like, no, 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 no. I don't want to name her, but she's amazing. And she's hilarious. And her humor is old school country. Here now, okay, this is how you make this yours,
Yeah.
right? Her humor is old school country, being raised in the South, so forth,
Yeah.
right? So for me, being raised in a New York home, so forth, actually, that's only a part of me.
Hmm.
I was born in Fort Hood. My
Hmm.
grandfather used to own a farm at Fort Hood. So whenever I see her talk, I see some of the people in Killeen, Texas,
Hmm.
at the store and so forth. I mess with my country people.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I love my country people, bro. Um, but yeah, no, no. So again, you're watching different types of people, and you're gathering what's you,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, like with this lady that I'm talking about, right? She uses country humor. What would country humor be with me? Okay, well, she used the story about she was talking about, I'll give you an example. She wrote a story about riding a motorcycle.
Hmm.
Bro, I grew up riding four wheelers.
Hmm.
I know y'all went to A&M. I know
I
there's a
know
bunch of
most of
y'all,
y'all, yeah.
and a bunch of y'all flipped them, and we're still here. But you see,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Is like you use that, right? Like 100%. I got a bunch of those stories,
Mhm.
bro. Now I'll watch somebody who's African American, male. Somebody like I name somebody big, like a TD Jakes, right? Definitely don't agree with everything, but the way he uses the stories, I'm like, man, this guy can make getting up, walking to this door a whole 10-minute story,
Mhm.
He has a gift for that, right? So I'm gonna take his story and be like, okay, what's me?
Okay.
Oh, okay, he used his hands a lot. He yelled sometimes. I'm definitely a yeller, at times, but he also was really serious. He made a good point. Yeah,
Mhm.
I just did it. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
100%.
So it's watching different types of people and making sure you're true to yourself,
Yeah.
and just watching that, right? I can watch, and I do it a lot. I can watch a good talk, a good sermon, and I can give an outline.
Hmm.
I literally can give the outline of the person that just gave that talk.
Hmm.
I'm like, they did this, this, this,
This.
this,
Yeah.
and so forth because I do it so much. But it takes time.
Yeah,
You see what I'm
100%.
saying? But notice I even said, man, where it's Winston Churchill, Dr. Martin Luther King, go down the list. Ronald Reagan was a really good speaker.
Mhm.
Watch people from past history, watch people, present, good business leader, good CEOs, watch how they move and so forth.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. And here's the other part to that is especially where everything is going nowadays, a lot of stuff is going to be on camera, right? So you see us talking like this, but you also see me doing this, but now you see me doing this. Watch some people who are really good, and I've done this before, is you'll see somebody at a conference who's amazing at speaking and really drawn the person in. But when you get them in life,
Yeah.
they're not that good. You see what
Okay.
I'm saying? because they didn't translate that. You
Okay.
see what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
know what you mean.
So what I'm getting at is watch different people, take notes, be true to who you are. You will copy. It happens. And it's great flattery. It is because I've seen people copy me and I'm like, bro, that's dope. Stop copying me. But make sure you just stay true to what you're there for
Okay.
and true to who you are.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
I love using humor, but I love different types of humor,
Hmm.
right? Like growing up the hood, you know. But I also like the whole Ryan Reynolds and
Yeah,
so
yeah, I
forth.
know what
Like
you
I
mean.
love
I
that.
literally know what you
I
mean,
am
man.
the. I always tell people at church. I always tell people like I have the gift of sarcasm by
Yeah,
the Holy Spirit. You know, like, and that's me. You know, but again, that's not a lot of people.
yeah.
You know, and some people may not even like that.
Mhm.
Cool, yeah. Find somebody that you like, that you're drawn into, that keeps you. Study them, study the people that are like them,
Mhm.
bring different cultures and so forth. And before you know it, you're gonna find your own rhythms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then my last question to get to that was, all right, so we've talked about how we build that confidence with that perfect practice makes perfect, right?
Mhm.
So if let's say someone is like, dang, I have a speech I have to give. I have no confidence in myself whatsoever. Like there's no like I don't have that.
Been there.
How does someone
Yeah.
in that position, like the next day over, be like, okay, I'm good to present this speech? Or how do you like, I guess, imposter syndrome, like fake it till you make it? Like, how does that work for you?
Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. Some of it you are gonna have to fake it till you
Yeah.
make it, right? I'm that's just being transparent. But if it's the next day, I would at least get so there's an old additive, right?
Okay.
Yo, can you do me a favor? Close the door. Jazz, can you close the door, please? Because you can hear the music. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. Thank you. That look was not Jesus. We should have recorded that look.
We should turn the camera.
Well, she was right
She was
there.
right
Yeah. Dang. You see, this is why church is here. We gotta pray for you.
there.
All right. Lift your hand. I'm just playing. Okay, so back to what was the question? Oh, what was the question?
About next day turnover, you have no
Yeah.
self-confidence in what you're
So
giving.
there's an old additive. If you can't remember it, they won't remember it.
Cool.
So if you're gonna read the whole time,
Hmm.
at the very least, there should be parts where I don't want to say you're freestyling,
Yeah.
but you're making your presence known, right? A
Mhm.
good example of that literally is Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Um, he's reading, but everybody knows him for his I Have a Dream speech.
Yeah.
It's a written speech. Why do we memorize that speech? Well, watch his voice flexion, watch how he, what you call it, you know, and that's what I would practice, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't get the content down, but I can get people to understand the feeling about the content.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I would always, I don't care what line of work you work in, have one or two stories that draw people in, whether they be serious, whether they be funny, whether it be, motivational, whatever it is, just something that draws people in. So yes, focus on the feeling, get your points, and practice.
Yeah.
I would at least say, like, if it's the next day, you need at least 3 or 4 run-throughs.
Mhm.
Go in the mirror, look at yourself in the mirror, and be the weirdo and talk to yourself. You do it anyway in your head. It's all good. By the way, there's counseling for that. I'm half joking. But yeah, no. Do that. And but trust, walk in there with confidence.
Yeah.
If that takes, and I used to do this years ago, when I started doing this, is I would just kind of sit and just be like, okay, I got this. I'm here for a reason.
Mhm.
It's my time. Almost taken. I'm a fourth-degree black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I have students who fight in the UFC, and there's a moment like there's like 30 seconds before you walk into the cage where you have to lock in,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's like one of those things where it's like, yo, I'm here. I'm not running.
It's go time.
Let's do this. If I gotta look in the mirror and let's go, I'm gonna. I know, and believe me, I've done it countless times. You're flying someplace, you're out of your element.
Mhm.
But once you step on stage, once you step in front of the podium, you're there for a reason, and you have to trust that. You have to trust the work that you put into it, and you have to trust the outcome. Whatever happens, happens, right? Like you just have to know that you got this. And that takes different things through different. So the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You don't have any self-confidence. I'm telling you, practice and then get yourself a motivational talk, listen to it in YouTube right before you. Eric Thomas is one. ET is my guy, man. Don't get me started, bro. But yeah, like like different coaches and so forth, just listen. Tony Dungy's really good. I told you I listen to talks all the time.
Yeah.
Listen to it, take it in, and like, okay, 2 minutes out, it's go time. It's time to lock in,
Cool.
It's that serious. But I promise you, after you get done, right, there's this kind of like, at least with myself, even whenever I wasn't that good at it, there's a moment of I just did that.
Yeah.
And that's good. Like even if you drop the ball, right? Like there's been plenty of talks. I'm in a group text with other national speakers. And like there's times where we just text each other and we're like, bro, I just dropped the ball. Like, bro, what was that? You just trust like, hey, it's gonna work itself out. Yeah. It's all good, you know. And yeah, and just the more you do it, the easier it becomes. But yeah, my hats off to you guys, for going down this road. I would just encourage you, man. Just practice in front of your cat, in front of your dog, in front of your mom, and ask for feedback. Like, mom, what did I. But don't. Oh, okay. Here's one that took me a while, and I haven't heard this now that I'm thinking about this. And I've read a lot of books on talking and so forth. Is be in the present. A lot of times, whenever you give talks, especially as you start to, you're going to be talking, but you're also going to be thinking.
Okay.
Don't be in the present. I'm focusing on Bucky's. What does it feel like? What is it? I'm only telling the story. That's it. I'm not worried about how I look. I'm not worried about even if I stutter. There's been plenty of times. I used to stutter as a kid. I used to lisp as a kid. There's plenty of times where that comes out. I just keep rolling with it.
Keep going.
You make sure you're in the present, and that's a mental switch, right? If you play sports, you'll get this, right? Um, there's a part in sports, especially I play basketball, football, I use baseball. I used to pitch, being Puerto Rican, go figure. It's funny, but there's a lot of truth in that. We play baseball all the time. I was a pitcher. And there's a moment where you have to block out everybody else. You're on the mound. And it's such a dope moment because you realize for a moment that's why you're there.
Yeah.
And it's so countercultural, right? Because society tells us, think about tomorrow, have the 5-year plan, make sure you do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Being in the present is so hard. But the more you do it, especially like in talks, there's moments of this. I tie this honestly into my prayer life. And also in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's this moment where you're just like, oh, runners, they call it like a runner high. Is like you are just in the moment. Be that. People will capture that. People will want to hold on to that because it's like an unspoken. And again, now that I'm thinking about it, I've never even read anything about this. There's like an unspoken want, like, hey, I want that.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't even care about the content,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of politics, I'll be honest with you. I'm just watching them master the moment and they're good at it,
Yeah.
and this is what sells, it sells in this case the politics, but salesmen. Oh, so yes, that I guess some other homework, right? I didn't say this in another part of like study different people, study other people who aren't in your genre.
Okay.
I study a lot of motivational speakers. I also study, hey, y'all are gonna crack up, go figure. When I say that, you're gonna like, yeah, it makes sense. I watch a lot of comedians.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Comedians are the
They're
best.
It's
Yeah,
the best thing.
they are the best at like commanding the room,
Yeah, 100%.
being in the moment.
Because that's all they are. Like they're the entertainment.
I
Like,
could not agree with you any. I wish more. I was talking, we were talking about this earlier. I'm doing another doctorate, and one of the things I want to do is teach the seminary and basically how to preach.
yeah.
And I'm gonna give them homework. Watch
Comedians,
comedians.
because it's so great. And it's
Watch
like I've
comedians,
seen,
man.
and
Yeah.
it's something that I'm gonna bring up. It's like there's different, like there's this guy named Ralph Barboza. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if you know him,
That name
but
sounds mad familiar.
and he's so deadpan, so monotone, and like
Mexican dude.
yeah, his
He has like a
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
exactly.
he's funny, bro.
He's
Yeah,
funny,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. But
It's such
he's not,
dry
but
humor.
he's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like, oh, here I
Absolutely.
and that's exactly what I want to show people is that you don't have to be like that to
Yeah.
command a
By
presence.
far.
You don't have to be Kevin Hart.
Be
Kevin
you.
Hart's all over the place. Boom, 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 boom. Then you have Ralph Barboza, deadpan, monotone, but it's still so entertaining and funny. Like that's
Right.
exactly what I'm
Yeah.
trying to like show that you don't have to be a Kevin Hart. You
By
have to
far.
be you
Be
with
you.
the tools that you have.
And total side note, I've had friends through the years come to me and be like, yo, you should try stand-up comedy. Because sometimes there's a moment, like if they're like, you got 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm finna have fun, bro.
Yeah,
We finna laugh. And I've had plenty of my friends come to me and be like, bro, you should do like improv comedy and so
Yeah.
forth. Because you watch it, um, you take a little bit of your own that's yours. You add to it, take away from it, but in the end, it's your creativity. It's being who you are. A lot of that is me. But you may not be that. But yeah, I still would watch like the Winston Churchill's, kind of go down the list of the more. RC Sproul's amazing. He didn't even move. And I definitely didn't agree with all of his content. But he's such a, who's the other one that, it just came to my mind. At a second, sorry if you're Protestant, it's all good. Second Baptist. Um, it's on the tip of my tongue. Ed Young, Dr. Ed Young. Man, how he just commanded didn't no laughing, like all serious, but just like his body language and like using stories and yeah, no, you can learn. And this is my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? Maybe even we're going to kind of go down this. You can learn from anybody. Um, so comedians, different types, different genres of speakers, some sports motivational guys, already named some. Eric Thomas is literally my favorite. I would watch some of these guys and just pick up like, hey, what's you, And there might be even a story, right? Like there's one that I use quite a bit from Eric Thomas, the guru story. And I've used it in church and so forth, talked about prayer. And they're like, yeah, that's so good. And I'm like, yeah, no, I stole it. So yeah, no. Eric Thomas, if you watch this, I love you, bro. Anyway, yeah, do I answer the question?
Yeah, that was it. That's basically everything I had for it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys. You guys I did not realize, it didn't dawn on me.
That you were giving.
Yeah, that it
Yeah.
was for A&M. All love, all love. I have a lot of A&M homie friends. Y'all a little bit weird, in a good way. In a good way. I was a Marine, so we have a lot of like weird things that we do. But yeah, so please don't judge me. It was just one. Literally was the first shirt. I'm gonna wear a red one today. So yeah, please don't judge me.
One of a
Yeah, my bad, man. But I appreciate y'all. Keep doing what y'all
appreciate you,
doing.
man. All right,
Is that how you
cool.
do it?
Yeah, that's how you do
Okay.
it. Here you go. Hey, perfect, man. All right.